right, guys, welcome back to Downtown Rams. As always, I'm your host, Alexis Kraft, joined here with my co host, Jake Ellenbogen, and we are continuing with our 2022 NFL Draft Prospect interviews. And joining us on the show right now, we have DeMarco Jackson, a linebacker from Appalachian State. How are you doing today?
Doing pretty good. How y'all doing?
Pretty good. We're excited to talk to you.
Me too.
Just to start this off, we always like to ask, we want to go back to the beginning. What was it that got you into the game of football initially?
For me, it was just football, the one that stuck with me. I played all sports growing up through like little league to middle school and college. And I mean, not college, but high school. But pretty much football just stuck with me. I just had a passion for it. Just love having the ball, love hitting, love just the adrenaline and everything.
And now, growing up, DeMarco, did you have a favorite NFL player that anything comes to mind there?
I mean, I used to love Cam Newton. I mean, living in Spartanburg, South Carolina, Panthers right up the road. So Cam Newton, Luke Kuechly, those guys. But also like watching just linebackers like Ray Lewis to like Bobby Wagner and guys like that.
Yeah, and well, those are all good choices, first of all. All of those are really talented players. But when it came time to play in college, what was it that led you to App State?
Pretty much App State, they just stuck with me. It came in about my senior year, about that summertime going into my senior year. And pretty much like through the season, I had a bad injury. And a lot of teams backed off of me because of this injury. But App State, I feel like they stuck with me and embraced it and helped me get through it a lot.
No, absolutely. I totally hear you there. And that's a, I like that. I like that story. I like that you went to App State. Now, what would you say, say I'm a football recruit and I'm considering App State. How would you try to get me to go there? How would you pitch that to me?
For me, I'll just tell my story. The pitch, I don't know if it's like a certain pitch to it, but I mean, for me, it's just the family and tradition there. Like the guys are like truly bought in. Like the older guys bring you up so much to where you see like what's expected, and pretty much like each class sets a new standard, I feel like, of like greater achievements of, I mean, just mentally tough. Like that's what I think that's what App State is like truly about though.
Yeah, and you also play a lot of really good competition while at App State, for sure, during the season. So I have to ask you, is there any one guy or maybe a couple guys that throughout your college career you matched up against during college and you thought they're the real deal? These guys are tough.
Real deal. These guys are tough. I have to say, you talking about like in my previous years, like growing, like coming into it?
Yeah, I guess ever. Just any guy that you opposed.
Louisiana, I'll have to say that their running back was he was pretty good. I think his name was Elijah Mitchell for the 49ers. Yep. Now. Him coming out, like he was a strong, like dual court, like running back that had like great speed and then just had great strength in the lower half.
So basically, you weren't surprised to see what he did in the NFL because you.
Yeah, not surprised at all. I knew he was going to be great back with facing him.
Yeah, no, I mean, absolutely. He had a very impressive season, and to be the second back taken in that draft by that team, I mean, that was pretty incredible what he's able to do because he was already behind the eight ball in that regard, being the second running back taken in that draft class for them. And I know Trey Sermon went in the third. They even traded up to get him. And then to see, Eli Mitchell become like their feature back. I mean, that was a pretty cool story throughout the season. But, kind of going into it, we talked about, the toughest or some of the tough guys that you faced. But is there a favorite game that you had in college, DeMarco?
For me, I had to say it was two games like that year. It was when we 2019 beating UNC and USC, South Carolina. Like that season was pretty special. I mean, I just like I said, like those seniors, particular senior, Akeem Davis, me and him was good boys on the team, and pretty much like that was a great season between me and him. I feel like just ended it off the right way.
Yeah, and just speaking of your position, the linebacker position, is there anything, any one trait that you think is most important for a linebacker to have?
For me, I'll have to say instincts, quick processing, and you got to be able to like to run nowadays, like with these matchups teams be doing.
And now, DeMarco, what would you say is your biggest strength as a player?
For me, I have to say it's like my instincts and my speed tracking to the ball. I just it's just like a more of a mentality thing, like just making sure you get to the ball.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely good traits to have. And, as the draft is approaching, is there anything you're looking to improve on?
For me, I mean, I just think I changed my game a lot because of just more resources I had, like going through this training process, like learning a lot of new like nutrition, the recovery, a lot of mobility. So like for me, it's just going through. What was the question one more time? Sorry.
No, the thing that you're working on.
Oh, for me, he'll have to see going through this process, just showing teams that I have speed. I mean, just you got to have speed for coverage for like running backs, tight ends, and sometimes slot number 3 going up the pipe.
No, I mean, absolutely. You have to have that speed in today's, era of football. I mean, it's like the modern linebacker is the guy that can go sideline to sideline, which your tape shows that you can do. And of course, be able to wear multiple hats, whether that's, being a blitzer and having the pass rushing skills, maybe not at the level of a Micah Parsons who does it all, but having the pass rushing skills to be able to shed blocks and things like that, and disengage, and then on top of it, play the run and being helping coverage. And I think it's definitely I think you do it all pretty well, I will say. So I think that's definitely a good point there. And now I got to ask you, talking a lot about the NFL, obviously you're going in the NFL and this is the NFL draft that's coming up. Do you have a player that you're most excited to, match up against if possible?
Player? I mean, I'll have to say match up against, like, you just talking about in general, just like run defense or more pass defense.
Like any certain player, like even if like it's a quarterback, like you just really, say you want to like, read his eyes, pick him off, something like that.
Like Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers. And that'll be like just a cool moment. I mean, like always watching those guys grow up. You just been fans of them just because of how long they stayed in the league and just how they just control the game a lot of the times. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely would be an accomplishment to pick off Aaron Rodgers for sure. He's one of the best to do it. But we are a Los Angeles Rams based podcast during the season. So we ask every prospect that comes on our show, have you spoken to the Los Angeles Rams at all?
Yes. I mean, going through the Senior Bowl and the Combine, you have interviews with the different teams. But I interviewed with them a couple of times.
Yeah, well, we like to hear that. Alexis has said it, and I agree. I mean, we're both fans of your game, like what you do on tape. And it would be cool to end up there, but no matter where you end up, we'll be pulling for you. As we appreciate you coming on, and means a lot. But with that said, who is DeMarco Jackson as a player, and who is DeMarco Jackson as a person?
Okay, as a player, I mean, I feel like when I hit the field, you just got to really like tap into like a different mental state. I mean, it's like you got to look at the game like as, just territory. Like on the ground you stand on, like definitely in the run. But then you just got to have, just like that type of mentality. Like stop and run, then stop and pass. Like it's only like I said, it's on the ground you stand on. And for me as a person, I feel like I'm just like a more me as a person. I think I'm just more just like football. I feel like I just love the game of football. Outside, I just like going to good food hubs, finding good places to eat. I like reading. I mean, I like to get away. I like to ride horses. I like being outdoors. I mean, living up in Appalachian State, like you just take time to explore like the different canoeing. I mean, sightseeing, trails to walk. I mean, just being outdoors. I say I'm like a really outdoorsy person.
That's awesome. And this last question here, kind of group of questions, I like to ask the prospects because I'm always looking for good recommendations on things. Yeah. So if you could please recommend me a TV show, an album, and a snack.
A TV show.
Jake laughs at the snack question, but I like snacks and I like to know like if there's one that I'm missing out on.
For me, I like the Frank Red Hot Goldfish.
Okay.
That's a thing? Oh, wow. That sounds amazing.
They had like a limited edition, but I mean, like, I'm waiting for it to come back out.
It's all the best ones are limited edition.
So it's Frank's Red Hot what?
Goldfish.
Okay. Well, I like anything spicy. I do like spicy, like Flamin' Hot Cheetos. Love them. The popcorn kind, the hot popcorn. I like that too. So I'm going to have to try that.
What was the other two?
TV show and an album.
A TV show, I like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, especially the newer one that just came out with Will Smith just released. But
I gotta check that out.
Yeah, it's pretty good. For album, I have to say Drake, Take Care.
Classic.
It's all time good one for me.
I agree. I know at like every word to that album. That was like one of my favorites when it came out.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I'll have to check out the new Bel-Air. That sounds it's a
good
drama, right?
Yeah. It's a drama. I think it just goes into more detail about the backstory of why he really had to come.
See, because there's always been like stuff out there that like, you watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and you're like, all right, like this is funny, but like there's something that we're not knowing about. Like there's something dark behind the scenes. Like we're not, so that's cool. I'm gonna have to. So it has to do with it's a prequel basically, or
more of a prequel. Yeah,
that's sick.
It's like a more on the back. Yeah, it is. I'll say more of a prequel.
Yeah, because there are conspiracy people all over, like Twitter and such, and they're like, Fresh Prince has some really dark stuff.
Yeah, like I never really heard that, but I'm like thinking about it. I mean, he never really spoke on that part though.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got those 3 recommendations, which all sound very, very good. And I know the album is good already, but I definitely agree with that. But thank you so much, DeMarco, for coming on the show. We were really excited to hear that you've spoken to the Rams. We'd love for you to end up on the Rams, but if not, we're still going to be fans of you no matter where you go. So we wish you the best of luck continuing in this draft process, and we will keep in touch.
All right, sounds good. Thank y'all for having me.
Absolutely. You take care, man. Stay healthy.
You too, man. All right, bye.